What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bulls Latest. I'm your host, Matt Johnson, here to kick off this Tuesday show. I want to thank Underdog Fantasy first for sponsoring this video, guys. I've got a loaded show on tap for you guys today. But first, go and take advantage of $75 in bonus entries after playing just your first $5 today over at Underdog Fantasy, guys. All you got to do is scan that QR code at the top of the page there to get started. Plenty of NBA action this week and the rest of the season, guys. The playoff push is heating up. There's a lot of great NBA action to get in on, a lot of fun to be had over at Underdog Fantasy. Scan that QR code to get started today. I want to jump into today's show by previewing the Bulls' next contest against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The defending champs, guys, are going to come to United Center to cap off the season-long homestand here. That'll be 7 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday night. You can catch that on Chicago Sports Network. Oklahoma City has looked the part of a team who's ready to repeat, guys. They're 5-1 since returning from the All-Star break, and they're fresh off of a 187 road victory in Dallas on Sunday night, and are the first team in the NBA this season, guys, to clinch a playoff spot following the win over the Mavericks there. The Thunder now sit atop the Western Conference. They're 3 games ahead of the young, surging San Antonio Spurs. That's a fun ball club, guys, in the Spurs. I just don't know if they have the championship pedigree yet to go and catch a team like the Thunder. Now, they have owned the Thunder in the regular season here. I think the playoffs are going to be a different beast when things comes to shove there. I do think the Spurs could give them a little bit of a run, though. I just don't know in a 7-game series if they can overtake the defending champs there. But anyway, looking at the injury reports in this one, the Bulls won't have to face SGA in this contest. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will miss Tuesday night's contest with an abdominal strain. He also is listed as having an illness there. The Thunder are going to be missing a handful of key contributors here in this one. Isaiah Hartenstein, AJ Mitchell, Thomas Sorber, Nikola Topic, and Jalen Williams are all listed as being out as well for the Thunder. For the Bulls, on their side of things, they're going to be without Patrick Williams and Jalen Smith. Once again, it seems, even with a bit of a crowded injury report, the Thunder are still considerable favorites here. And that comes as no surprise. This team has been dominant coming out of the All-Star break for the most part. They are looking to make a push to win another title, guys. And this is a Bulls team which, off of that 27-0 run to beat the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday to finally snap that 11-game slide, I think they come back to reality, and they come back to reality hard tonight. I think the Thunder, even with the injuries and the short-handed roster, take advantage of the Chicago Bulls kind of being beat up, guys, and they're beat up, and they're still kind of trying to find their footing with a guard-heavy roster at the moment. So diving more into the betting preview for this one, guys, Oklahoma City, a 10.5-point favorite coming into Chicago to cap off the Bulls homestand. You can get the Thunder minus 425 on the money line if you're looking to get a little crazy. The Bulls are plus 330 on the money line. The total sits opened at 227.5, down to 226.5 already. I love the Thunder in this spot, guys, even though they are missing a number of key players here due to injury. They are one of the deepest teams in the NBA. We've seen that for a couple years now. They've shown night in and night out that even with guys out, they can dismantle lesser rosters. The Bulls, fill that category as the lesser roster here. The Bulls are banged up themselves. They have a bit of an injury issue. And I think confidence is going to be running high for the Bulls. That 27-0 run is still crazy, trying to wrap my head around that from Sunday afternoon. But, guys, it's a spot where you don't overthink it here. The Thunder should be able to take care of the Chicago Bulls and take care of them handedly. I think Chet Holmgren is going to have a big night. I do think the Thunder win this one with ease and cover that 10.5-point spread. I do trust Oklahoma City to cover that moderate number here. So jumping into the underdog segment today, guys. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy, guys. All you have to do is pick your favorite players to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at that Bulls Thunder game, and that's tonight, guys, against the Thunder. The Bulls will be facing off at home. You can use the promo $75 in bonus entries when playing your first $5. I'm looking at I'm going to go Chet Holmgren higher than 18.5 points and Josh Giddey higher than 14.5 points. Josh Giddey's old team is in town. I think this is a pride spot for him. I think he's going to ball out. He's coming off another triple-double. Keeps climbing the Bulls franchise ranks in the triple-double department, tying Scottie Pippen within franchise history there. So I think Josh Giddey continues his hot hand there. And Chet Holmgren, with the injuries, with no SGA, I think he could easily hit the higher on his 18.5 points, guys. I think Chet Holmgren's due for a big night. So again, use promo code BasketballFan to get in with $75 in bonus entries after playing just your first $5 today, guys.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
All right, guys, jumping back into the show here today, I want to go over with you guys the latest mock draft that we're going to look at ahead of this 2026 draft, guys. It's a big one for the Chicago Bulls. Mock drafts are starting to fall. It's never too early to begin looking at these. So I wanted to go over the first of the version with you guys and see what you guys think in the comments, what your guys' thoughts are with this. Do you expect this to kind of hold in form here in this order? Or what do you think the Chicago Bulls should do? First, with the number 1 overall pick, we have the Sacramento Kings winning the lottery, getting that first pick, taking A.J. DeBonsta, the small forward, out of BYU. DeBonsta has shown every bit to the world why he deserves to be the number 1 pick in the upcoming draft. And we're certainly going to have eyes locked on him as BYU, goes into the NCAA tournament here in the next couple of months. He is a game changer, guys, and this guy could certainly change a franchise. So no surprise he goes at number 1 there. At 2, I have the Indiana Pacers slotted, taking power forward Cam Boozer out of Duke. Cam Boozer is going to be a heck of a ball player. We saw his dad play for the Chicago Bulls for a number of years and be a solid NBA player. Cam Boozer has shown that he can carry Duke through their NCAA tournament aspirations, and that he could be a star at the next level. At 3, coming in, we have Darren Peterson, the shooting guard out of Kansas, taken by the Brooklyn Nets here. Darren Peterson, it's a Brooklyn team that is super young, looking for more blue chip talent. Darren Peterson could go number 1, guys. He could slot up 2 more spots. His stock has kind of fallen after a rougher past couple of weeks here with Kansas, but I still think this guy has all the makings to be the top overall pick in the draft. So we'll see how it shakes. I have Caleb Wilson coming in at 4, the power forward out of North Carolina. That's my hope as to what the Bulls could get if they lose enough games down the stretch. I just don't know if they have enough time to move up that far on the draft board. But at 4, I have the Washington Wizards taking power forward Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina. He's going to be a heck of a ball player at the next level. At 5, I have Kingston Flemings, the point guard out of Houston, taken by the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are in need of a solid point guard here to man their offensive unit. Kingston Flemings has the makings of a solid and a very, very talented player, to be a good guard at the next level here. At 6, we have the Atlanta Hawks pick via the New Orleans Pelicans. I have them taking point guard Mikal Brown Jr. out of Louisville there. I think Mikal Brown Jr. has the makings of being a point guard that Atlanta needs, especially after granting Trae Young his wish. Trae Young now with the Washington Wizards. Obviously, Mikal Brown Jr. has the opportunity to fill that void there. At 7, and this is where it gets interesting, I don't think the Bulls can get up to 7. This would be a hell of a player to be able to take, but I have the Mavericks taking Darius Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas. Man, is he a talented ball player, guys. The point guard has all the makings of being a superstar in the league there. I think Acuff is going to be a guy you're going to want to watch as Arkansas, takes on their NCAA tournament hopes as well. At 8, Memphis Grizzlies, and this is where the Bulls and Grizzlies could easily flip here, guys, just a game separating these two. The Bulls could easily pick at 8. I still think the Bulls will, stick with what I'm going to have them taking at 9, but the Grizzlies I have taking LeBaron Falan, the point guard out of Bama. The Grizzlies, again, are in a situation with John Morant, his future kind of up in the air moving forward. He was possibly going to be shopped at this past deadline. Wasn't ultimately, but I don't think John Morant's going to be in Memphis for too much longer. So taking LeBaron Falan out of Bama there could be a solid move for an organization looking for another guard. And then at 9, finally, guys, I have our Chicago Bulls taking shooting guard Keaton Wagler out of the University of Illinois. This is a guy I've previewed a few times moving into and looking at this upcoming draft. I think Wagler has all the makings of what the Bulls are looking for in a shooting guard. He's got size, he's got scoring capability, he's got the ability to defend. This is a very, very solid prospect, and assuming the Bulls don't make that huge jump, and realistically and analytically, it doesn't seem that they're going to be able to get a top 4 pick there unless they win the lottery there, guys. But at that case, DeBonsta coming to Chicago would be a monster uplift for this organization. Even if they were going to take Cam Boozer or Darren Peterson, winning the lottery as the Bulls kind of only shot there. So Keaton Wagler at 9 seems like a very solid, formidable option for a Bulls organization looking for another solid shooting guard, because there could be a lot of guards kind of shifting their way out of Chicago this coming offseason as the Bulls kind of retool that roster. So that's the mock draft. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like that pick by the Bulls at 9? If the Bulls are at 8, would you like to see them take somebody else here? Let me know your thoughts. I want to see what Bulls Nation thinks here. Filling out today's show, guys, and capping off our Tuesday show, I want to talk about Leonard Miller. And this is a guy who's coming off a game where he had a lot of career highs. What should we expect from Leonard Miller the rest of the season, guys? I know this much. He needs to continue to get meaningful minutes in my eyes. In Sunday's victory over Milwaukee, he had career highs in points. He scored 15. He had career highs in rebounds with 5 and assists. He had 4 assists in this contest, all career highs for the 22-year-old. And at just 22 years old, the Bulls seemingly tanking to push higher than their projected 9 slot in the upcoming draft. It's a great opportunity for the Bulls to see what they have in Miller. And this is a guy who hasn't gotten a ton of playing time since being drafted back in the second round in 2023 by the Spurs. He didn't see much playing time after that, playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves or being a part of the organization, I should say, for the past 3 years of his career. Barely averaged about 6 minutes a game, guys. So he just did not get the minutes there in Minnesota. A team was looking to chase a ring, quite frankly, right now. So especially in a situation where the Bulls are battling some injuries at the moment, it's a no-brainer for Billy Donovan and this organization to see what they have in Leonard Miller. He showed some flashes on Sunday, and it was a big part of that win over Milwaukee to snap that losing streak, guys. So 21 games left in the season for Chicago. The league, for the Bulls and the rest of the matter, I should say, we get to see what Leonard Miller has in the tank. What is he capable of? What can he do within these league circles, guys? So I think opportunity, and that goes for any one of these young players in this Bulls roster, guys. What can they provide for a team who needs to see things moving forward, needs to evaluate some of the talent on this roster? So that'll do it today, guys, for this episode of Bulls Latest. I want to thank Underdog Fantasy again for sponsoring this video. Scan that QR code to get in on all the action today. That'll do it. Thank you guys for your constant support of this show. Go Bulls, and we will see you guys next time.